Yo, this is Renan with Pizza Pie Learning, and this is The Slice, where we serve up sweet hot tips and insights on how to crush the SAT math. With us today, we have one of our former math monsters that took the course in summer, took it early as a rising junior, and then after that, wanted some more, took it again to finally reach his end goal and crush it by the December test, right?
Yep.
It was a very great pleasure to see this young man sounds so formal, young man go from somebody who, to be honest, you're in algebra 2 right now?
Yeah.
Right. So he came in not really knowing that much math, not having learned a lot of what was on the SAT. So I personally got to see somebody go from all right at math to, in my opinion, one of my stronger students in my most advanced class. So it was a great pleasure to see his math skills blossom. He's also very chill. We got along really great. And so why don't you go and introduce yourself to everybody?
I'm Jacob Vila. I took the course twice. I could have stopped the first time, but I ended up really liking it and also helped a lot. I went up over like 100 points my first time taking it. So I was like, I might as well just take it again. I ended up hitting my target goal after those two courses. So yeah.
What'd you end up getting?
I ended up ending with a 690. And before the first course, I started at a 450 on my PSAT my sophomore year.
I didn't remember that part. Damn.
450. I started off at a 450.
Before you did the course, how'd you feel about math in general?
Horrible. Math was literally my least favorite subject. I didn't try at all in school. Even if I did try, I had a super hard time. I never had a good experience with any of my teachers. I had no motivation, nothing.
What changed? And like, what about the course helped? Did that change you? Like, what? Tell me.
The course definitely changed me. Like my perspective on math as in general, because Renan helped me out so much, and also having like that one-on-one experience if I ever needed like help or anything, and like the course kind of felt customized like to help me, like what I struggled in, what I'm strong in, stuff like that, like different things to like reinforce like what I'm bad at. And also Renan's really chill, like he's a relatable guy. It's not like you're sitting in a class talking to a teacher, hearing a bunch of things that don't matter. Like he gives it to you straight, like this is what you need to know, this is what you need to do, and like if you do it right and like you trust the process, you do all your work, stuff like that, you study, like it's gonna work. Like it's really gonna work because it worked for me.
Right. And this is like the key is that you did the work though.
Yeah, I had to do it. I had to do all the work. I did everything.
Let's be real. I did everything. Like let's be very real, everybody.
Yeah.
And this is a common theme throughout all this. Most people that I might have coming on to the Slice are students that probably did the work, because most students that have coming on are students that ended up improving a lot. And if there's one thing that I know is that for you to improve a lot, you have to do the work. And I remember in the summer, you probably did more work than what you want. You improved a lot. You went like 100 points, but
yeah,
I knew you can go up higher. Was there anything different about the second time? Like, was it worth taking it a second time?
Definitely. I think I improved more. Oh, did I? No, I improved more points the first time, but the second time I feel was like the last little thing to tip the iceberg. You know what I mean? Like the last little push I needed. And also me knowing that I was taking it a second time was like, okay, this is the last time I'm taking it. I'm gonna give it like all like my attention, all my focus. I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna do everything right. I'll do it 2 times if I need to do it. And I wanted to get it over with too. I wanted to have my scores ready so I can apply during the summer going into my senior year while I'm a rising senior. So I feel like I had more motivation also during school time, because I was also in that school mindset. I was doing school at the same time, doing homework at the same time. Well, in summer, I was really chill, relaxed. I was at home. I was going out a lot. Like I wasn't in that learning mode. You know what I mean? So I feel like I had more motivation the second time around.
Right. And that's interesting. There is that pro and con. Like I'm always talking to students about, the should you take it in the summer, the course, should you take it after? You did both. So you have that experience where like in the summer, you have more time to do it, but you were in a different mode. You were relaxing, hanging out, going out, whatever. And then during the school year, you were a little bit more focused.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of had both those. So I don't know which one's better, but you're saying that did you feel like, it's probably hard for you to decide, but did you feel like one was better than the other in terms of your learning, or you have no idea?
In terms of learning, I would say the summer was better because it was the first time I was being exposed to algebra 2. Because by the second time I took the course, I had a general idea because I had taken the course already.
Right.
But the second time I took the course, I was able to focus more on my faults, like the things I wasn't good at. The first time I took the course though was more getting the general understanding. That's why I went up so many more points the first time I took it. The second time I took it was more like polishing up all my little mistakes, stuff like that.
I mean, it's also the other reason is because, I mean, the first time you took it, you came from a lower point. Like, so like the higher you get, usually the harder it gets to improve. So somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like you had already gone up 100 points. After the first 100-point improvement or whatever, like going up another like 60s or like is the same as going up 100.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing a lot of people don't consider is like it gets harder to improve as you improve. So you did some phenomenal work. I'm gonna say it from like my end. I'm very proud. Like that shit was dope. Great in the summer, even better after. You got the score that you wanted. But the thing that I keep thinking about is, so you did the work, and like I could say that all the time. Like he did the work. But like, was there anything in particular that you felt helped you more? Anything any advice you could give to everybody that
practice test?
Just do everything. Oh, what was it?
Practice test.
Okay.
Practice test and looking at what I got wrong. I will be real with you right now. I'll be real with you right now. The first time I took the course, the first couple of practice tests, I did not look at any of the things I got wrong. And I was like, bro, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm doing this work all the time. This was during the summer, so you're able to assign more work because I wasn't having homework from school or anything. So I was, I would get fried. I would do these 4-hour classes. I would do work every week. I would do all these practice tests. I'm like, look, I do all this shit and I'm not gonna look at I don't feel like looking at what I got wrong. Like I'll do fine. The more I learn, the more I sit through the lectures, I'm gonna do better. I didn't do better. And I was like, damn, what am I not doing? Because I feel like I do everything. I'm not looking at what I get wrong on the practice test. I'm half-assing it. I'm just breezing through it, whatever. And I get frustrated when I don't get the score that I want on the certain practice test. And it's because I don't look at what I got wrong. So the second time I took it, every practice test I did, I looked at what I got wrong. I had a plateau because normally I think most students get a plateau. I had a plateau for a really long time. I was stuck in the 620s for like maybe like 4 practice tests or something like that. But looking at what I got wrong, because there's a video attachment for almost every single problem on each practice test. So I would just watch those videos. I'd be like, okay, so I just redo it, take the next practice test, and I wouldn't mess up again. Like it was that simple. It's just the little things. The little things is what made me do better. But I think the practice test was the most important thing because it got me in the routine of sitting and doing 2 math sections back to back, no break, no distractions, no phone, like just like really zoned in. And like it got to the point where like sitting there for 3 hours was literally not a big deal. Like I had done it so many times that it was pretty normal.
I tell this to all the students, Oh, what was it, bro? Because I said it to you too. I was like, go over your practice. But like, why don't kids listen to me, man? Like they listen sometimes, right? But there's a certain party that you're like, I know what I'm doing. So I'm glad you're saying it. I'm gonna put this on repeat in all my prep courses in the beginning of the course. Like, hey, look at everyone saying this shit. Because I'm not making this up. And it is true. Like and the way that I break it down is this. There's content. So you're in the course, in class. As you remember, we would go over different topics in an order that made sense. So like it would make it so that the class would flow. So you would learn it easier. It's easier to learn that way when the topic builds throughout the class from easy to medium to hard. There's a breakdown in the beginning, blah, blah. But right. So like you feel like you're getting everything. And I think this happens to a lot of kids. They're killing it in class because we make it so that you understand it well. But then they don't do the same thing on the test and they don't understand why. And I'm like, listen, because like at the end of the day, your test isn't like class, right? Class is meant for learning, but the test is not, it's not in the same format. You're going to see everything mixed up. And so just being able to get a problem right in class where you literally just saw a problem just like it before it. Like you just saw a quadratic, you see another quadratic, you kind of already know what to do. You have a better chance of getting it right, which is great for learning, but it's not great for being able to act on the exam. So I tell kids, one part of preparing is to learn the content. And that's why we do the classes like we do. That is very important for you to master each topic. But then after that, you got to take practice tests. And in taking the practice, you're going to see it all mixed up. And then after you see it all mixed up and you don't remember to do what you were supposed to do, it's what you said. You have to look over it. And if you don't look over it, you're not going to remind your brain like, oh shit, like I made this mistake. And it's usually like silly stuff, like, because you learn this stuff in class, right? You learn this stuff in class. So then on the test, you're going to realize like, oh, why didn't I know this? And then it's going to hit you like, oh, I didn't recognize like this and that. And like next time I got this, like, duh. Most of the time when I analyze kids' practice exams, it's usually like after they've done enough of the course. They're not like, they usually don't get things wrong for the most part on things that they never have learned. Most of the time, like at least halfway or after, kids are getting a ton of shit wrong that they already learned. So at that point, it's probably because it was mixed and it's not spoon fed. So if you don't have that moment where like, you're like, oh, wow, I can't believe I didn't catch this. Next test, you're not going to catch it again. So I tell the kids, 2 phases, learn the material, expose yourself to it mixed, review your mistakes. I'm glad you said it, bro. Before you came to us, what was your situation? Why'd you reach out?
Well, to be totally honest with you, I reached out because I knew I was bad at math, and I had taken the PSAT my freshman year, my sophomore year, and I did so bad. I would do so bad every time, and I would actually try. It wasn't like I would show up to school all tired, like it's the PSAT, I'm not gonna try. I would actually try, because like I'm looking forward to college. I want to go to college. Like I want to like go to a good college too. I want to have fun. Like, you know what I mean? So I would actually try on those, and I would do bad, and I wouldn't understand why. And it turns out my sister was actually tutored by Renan before he started, the whole Zoom thing. Like I would see him, like, I don't know if you even remember, I was really little. I was like in elementary school. He would sit in my kitchen counter. He would come to my house, teach my sister for like a couple hours, maybe like a few times a week, math. And my sister got the score she needed, and she ended up making it into FSU. So my parents knew, and I knew from the get-go, if I needed a math teacher or a math tutor for the SAT, I was going to use Renan. And also a bunch of my family, friends have used Renan, and like it's all good things, like literally all good things. Everyone's improved and gone to the colleges that they've wanted to go to.
You're next, bro.
Yeah, I'm next. Yeah, I'm next.
Now I remember, right? I don't remember you. I don't remember ever seeing you at your house, but I remember your house. You have a very unique way that you found us, right?
Yeah.
And you ultimately got what you wanted from your hard work and our support.
Yeah.
And now going forward, like what has that opened up for you? Like what did that do for you? Like getting this score, what did that do for you? Or yeah.
It did a couple of things, and it didn't just get me the score I wanted. Like it didn't just give me like, the fulfillment, like this is the score I wanted, this is the score I got. First thing, I got Bright Futures. I have the Bright Future scholarship for Florida or whatever. That's gonna save me a bunch of money when I go to college, like a lot of money. So my parents are gonna have to worry about that much, because I also have Florida prepay. And Bright Futures on top of that is like, it's super good. And then another really good thing is math at school is so easy now. Like I take an algebra 2 and trig class right now, honors, and straight A's. Like I literally end every quarter with an A. Last semester I ended with an average grade of an A. I get A's on almost every single test. Like it's a breeze, because with all the conditioning and all the different things I learned, I was like one step ahead of everybody in the class. And like doing all the work for like prepping for the SAT, watching Renan's lectures, going over all the problems I got wrong on the practice test, doing that actual practice test, that's nothing compared to the little bit of homework I get for that class. So I can do that, like, honestly, without cheating or anything, and it's not even a big deal. The math classes have just been way easier in school now, so that's also helped a lot.
But what was it for you? Like, what motivated you to put in the work?
I think seeing that my score wasn't improving, because at first it took me a little bit to get over like a small hump. I wasn't seeing like that much improvement. I would go up 10 points every now and then. So I was also in the summer. This was like the first time I was taking the course. So I was like, okay, so I have to be really about it. If I want to go up, I have to be really about it. I have to put in the time. I have to put in the work and stuff. So that ended up motivating me. And also the second time I took the course, like I said earlier, it was more of a chance to polish up what I was doing wrong. So, and also taking it a second time, I was like, okay, this is the second time I'm taking it. This is going to be the last time I'm taking it. And yeah, I'm already going to be a junior, so I need to get my shit together. I have to do this. Like, this is the last time. So that was like my real big motivation for it.
Getting it over with early.
Yeah, and getting it over with early so I can apply over the summer, because the way colleges work, the earlier you apply, the better chance you get of getting into the college you want. So I wanted my score early.
You're right now a junior and you're done.
Yeah, I'm done. I don't have to take it
You're
anymore.
coasting. All your friends are taking the March test right now, and you're
Yeah, literally. All my friends are taking the March test, and they're all asking me stuff. And I'm like, I don't have to worry about that. I'm done. You don't ask me anything about the SAT anymore. I'm done with that. So yeah, I don't have to worry about it anymore.
So what's next for you? So you just coast. You're in school now. You're applying. What's going on?
Right now I'm in school. You know, I'm like really involved in school, but my main focus now, SAT wise, is submitting those scores into schools, applying to different schools. I'm gonna apply to a bunch of schools in Florida, outside of Florida as well, but I'm gonna see if I can stay in Florida so I can get the bright futures that I earned because of taking the course. You know, because my math scores what needed to go up in order for me to get bright futures, because my math was my weak point compared to my reading. It turns out actually my math improved so much taking the course that it surpassed my reading. So now technically my weak point is reading because of how much my math score went up after taking the course. So technically my math isn't even my weak point anymore, to be honest. But yeah, basically my plan now is just, applying to all the schools that I'll most likely get into because I meet the criteria now, because I have the scores that I need.
We made your weakness your strength.
Literally.
You made your weakness your strength. That's what I'm talking
Nah,
about.
it's you too. It's you too. It goes both ways. Because if you don't put in the work, it's not gonna happen, to be honest.
Any last words of advice that you have for the kids that are studying right now? Tips, tricks? I don't know, anything. Your one thing you could give them.
I think the most important thing is do the work, but I've said that a million times already, but I'll say it again, do the work. But another thing is try not to cram right before you take the test. Because like that's usually what people do. I've taken the SAT I think 3 times, and the first time I took it, I started cramming a little bit at the 3-day mark before the test. Do a practice test every day for like about 2 weeks before the test or something like that. 2 weeks, 1 week, I don't know. A practice test every day, but make sure before you move on to the next practice test, look at what you got wrong, because you're gonna make the same mistake when you take the next practice test if you don't look at what you got wrong. So I would say not to cram, because also when you cram, you're not learning anything. You're going way too fast. You have to have time to process what you're getting wrong. You know what I mean? So you actually learn something. So yeah, that's my advice.
Practice test a day. Don't cram. Don't play. Oh, I had to rhyme it. All right, cool. So thank you very much for coming on. It was a pleasure having you, as always, as it always has been in all the classes. And hopefully everyone's learned a little bit, right? To not cram, to take a practice test a day, to take the course twice. My plug. And that's it, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Peace.
Yeah.